great guest today. I've been talking about it all week on my social media. He is the host of the Manitowoc Minute. He's got his own podcast, the Cripescast podcast. Doing like awesome stuff over there too, by the way. So like before we get started, like talk about your podcast a little bit because I know you have a lot of Wisconsin people on there. You've had a lot of like great guests.
Yeah. First of all, it's nice that we're matching. That's really cool. We did not plan this, but we should have planned this. Yeah, the Krebscast has been cool because obviously all the videos on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, or whatever, those are all sort of quick comedy takes. But the Krebscast is a place where we, have long form conversations. We had Elton Jenkins on recently, hoping to get Wayne Larrabee on, and had Brian Anderson on. So a lot of sports figures in Wisconsin, as well as just, buddies of mine in the entertainment industry. And we've had some veterans on. We have had some farmers on. So it's a little bit of everything on there. And it's just long form conversation mixed in with, kind of musings about the Midwest,
Yeah, I've listened to some. I think it's cool. Like I've had players on my podcast, and like when I very first started doing podcasts, I didn't know what I was doing, and I would have players on, like, and I didn't. I like I was horrible.
Yeah.
It's funny because I listened back to some of them, and I'm like, that's why they don't come on again. No, but
No, I mean with players, so it's always tough because some. And I talked to Ellen Jenkins a little bit about this, but anytime you're talking to the press, you've got to be somewhat guarded, and that you're not saying the wrong thing, and that you're representing the team in the best way possible. And I just know this from like my journalism background. The best way, especially in a sports interview, is if you can get out of that interview as quick as possible. The less you say, the better. A lot of times, So
oh yeah,
it kind of takes a minute to warm up to. Especially athletes, because they're so focused on, and rightfully so, they're so focused on the game of the week or whatever it is. So
yeah. This offseason, I actually have a bunch of players that said that they'll come on, and I'll be better this time. No, but like I always tell the players, like when I ask them, like I'm not trying to be the media, so like I'm not like gonna ask like some questions like get on ESPN or anything. But like I think it's cool. Like I like to hear the stories, like how they got like to the NFL, and like how did they know? Like when did they realize, like I can actually do this?
yeah, that oftentimes, I think there are plenty of podcasts out there that will get the scoop or whatever, and yeah, it's easier to not kind of go for that angle because then people are concerned about coming on your podcast.
Oh yeah,
if they know you're going to grow them.
Oh yeah, if you're like just gonna try to make a name. No, but what would your like childhood self think? Because I always think about this. Like all the people I got to talk with. Like I've talked to a lot of players. And I got to do a lot of cool stuff. Like my childhood self, growing up being a Packer fan, would die. Like if he knew like what I get to do today. And for you, like you're working with the Packers. I see the Packers posted. You gave like a little.
The know before you go.
Yeah, that was a great video. But like, what would your childhood self think if you like all the stuff that you get to do today?
I honestly, I had never planned for any of this, and I think my childhood self would just be sort of mind blown. I was a kid who grew up watching every Packers game. I would get to the point of like tears if they lost. Definitely cried sometimes too. I was that much of a diehard fan in like second grade. I had the Packers locker and everything like that. So I grew up with the Packers and, just been a diehard fan since I can remember. So obviously, if I told that kid that I was going to do the stuff I did today, it'd just be mind blown. I mean, I don't even know how to fathom. I don't even know how to describe to my younger self what I'm even doing. So there's going to be this thing called social media. It's going to be a huge waste of time for pretty much everybody, including you. But you're going to make videos for social media. And because of that, so I'd have to explain a lot, I think.
Yeah.
And I wasn't the smartest kid, so it'd probably take a while.
Yeah, same with me. I was not very bright. No, but like you mentioned, like growing up being a Packer fan, like for me in my house, like being anything but a Packer fan was not a choice. My best friend who lived right next door who was basically like, Wisconsin, your best friend is your family. They come and go. They open the fridge. They're like part of the family. But he was a Bears fan.
Mm-hmm.
So on Sundays, he wasn't allowed in the house. Like, they would just say straight up, because the Packers weren't good. I'm older than you. So, like, that was like the 80s.
Yeah.
And the Bears were good, the Packers were bad. So, like, if it was a Packer-Bear game, he wasn't allowed in the house like Tuesday.
No.
He wouldn't even think about it. Like, nah, he'll call, hey, come over. I ain't going over there. But so how was it for you? Like, growing up in Wisconsin, like you mentioned, but was it the same? It's like everyone is just a Packer fan.
Yeah, I mean, I still remember the one kid who wore like a Broncos hat on the playground. It stood out so much, I don't know why. I think his dad was a Broncos fan or something. But you always kind of remember like the people who weren't Packers fans because they sort of stick out. And no, but for the most part, everybody's a Packers fan. It's just that ingrained into the culture. And yeah, I mean, it's a fun team to be a fan of. It's a fun thing to be a part of. There's so much the energy. Obviously this year's different with COVID, but around Lambeau on a non-COVID year, I mean, everybody knows that feeling. It's just an electric feeling. It's intoxicating. And then of course there's the intoxicants,
Yeah.
So that's a whole other story.
Oh yeah, like there's nothing like going to Lambeau Field. Like I never been to Lambeau Field like as a kid, because I mean we would ride our bikes up there and like screw around, but like we didn't go to games. Nobody was paying for me to go to a game. But like going to a game as an adult, like I literally think there's nothing better. Like that's what sucks about this year. Can't go, especially something like I started doing social media stuff. Like people just come up to me like they want to buy me beer, which is awesome. I think I have a reputation of the alcoholic on social media. So they're like, I want to buy you a beer. I'm like, I want to let you. And then you like just make friends. So like, how is it for you? Like going to Lambeau Field? Do you go to games regular, like normally?
Yeah. I mean, I went to a few growing up. I mean, I was in a big family, obviously, so it's not like we would get tickets on a couple rare occasions, but we would always go. There were preseason games. I did go to one game at Coney Stadium. And I went to a couple games growing up, but I didn't really start going more regularly until I got older, honestly. Because it was tough to come by tickets. Still is tough to come by tickets. So
yeah, it is tough. I think it's cool with me is like some people will just message me and say, hey, I have an extra ticket. It's free. Come to the game with me. And then I did that. Now we're friends.
That is cool. It's kind of like going hunting with somebody or whatever, going to a game with somebody. You're going to go into that experience strangers, but you will come out like basically lifelong friends,
Yeah, it's true, because there's people who I went to games with who I didn't know, and now like we text, we go back and forth. But
yeah.
So let's talk about this game a little bit, because you got some journalism background. You're a little analyst over here.
Yeah,
so,
I wouldn't say analyst.
But like before we get into that, but like this team to me feels special, kind of like 2010. I know that's put a lot of pressure on them, but the 2010 season was a little different because I don't think expectations were really high. They had a lot of injuries. They weren't talked about like early on in the year. They barely got into playoffs and then went on a run. But this year, they got Lil Wayne made a song again.
It's a banger.
Yeah.
And I remember 2010. I was actually at a Badgers game in Las Vegas that year. I was in for the Badger UNLV game, and I put money on the Packers to win the Super Bowl because I had been drinking. And it was a stupid move at the time. I think they had like 1 to 19 odds or something. So I put $150 on. Long story short, the season goes by. I'm like, I got to find that ticket. I never found the ticket at all. And I bought it in cash, so there was no record of it. And I called a couple of the casinos. I was like, so do you think you could find me on the security camera footage? They're like, sir, we can't do that. I was like, are you sure? Oh, wow.
That is brutal. That's the thing with me. Like, I actually buy lottery tickets, and then I'll win like $5, and then I'll lose them. And like, I don't even know why I buy it.
That's what supports the lottery right there.
But yeah, so I think this team has like a special feel. Like I'm so optimistic, and like I don't know if you notice if you watch a lot of my stuff, but I just talk trash all the time.
Yeah, you're good at it.
Yeah.
It's your specialty.
Oh, it's funny because I talk trash, like especially to the Bears, but like I have a lot of Bear fans friends who I've met through social media because they get that it's a joke. I'm not, it's not personal shots. It's just having
Right.
fun, and but like, so what kind of fan are you? Are you optimistic? Because I'm like super optimistic. I know a lot of people like, like oh, no matter what, they're like all mad. But like, even if I don't think the Packers are gonna win, like I don't know, I'm just optimistic. So are you optimistic or the
Yeah,
opposite?
there's no reason not to be optimistic. I mean, I was optimistic enough to spend $150 on them to win the Super Bowl a year when they had won the 19-1 odds. So no, I'm always optimistic about it. Usually, it ends up with poor bets being placed or just bad picks. I would always pick the Packers in the weekly picks and all that sort of stuff. Bad fantasy moves, but I roll with it anyway. And honestly, it this year it's all worked out. They've just crushed it this year, so I'm super excited about this game and the Super Bowl. We're going to the Super Bowl. You can mark my words on that. Yeah, you can use these words against me if we don't go to the Super Bowl. We're going to the Super Bowl.
Dude, I totally agree. I tell people that too because whenever I say stuff, they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna screenshot this." I'm like, that's fine. That's fine.
I've been wrong before.
Dude, like I don't think it's funny because people say like, "Oh, this didn't age well," like because I pick the Packers every week this year, and I tell people I was 13-3. So, so I think, dude, that's pretty good. But yeah, I get like the Rams fans this week have been like brutal, and I told them I was like, I didn't know you guys existed till last week.
I don't think they do exist, to be honest with you. Are they still holdovers from St. Louis, or are they LA people?
I'm not even sure because I know a lot of people in LA on social media who are Packer fans, and the Packer they have a SoCal Packer backer group. They have huge Packer following in California. So like I don't think Rams fans are like they're like the whatever that big monster guy in the woods that they always talk about.
The Yeti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'd have had that word there, that would have been much better.
I like big monster guy in the woods.
Yeah.
What you're saying.
So I think like, it gets the football talk, and I'll check the comments if you guys want to ask Charlie a question. I'll throw some comments up here, but yeah, I think the key like to get the football talk a little bit. I think the Packers defense is going to play better than the Rams defense, and everyone's talking about the Rams defense, and the reason I say that because the Rams offense is not good. They're like number 22 in the league, and the Packers are obviously number 1 offense. They have an incredible defense, but I don't think the best defense is gonna shut down Aaron Rodgers. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, no, I don't. And I'll be honest with you, I don't have a lot of good facts to back any of this up other than I know that St. Louis, or I call them St. Louis, LA, the Rams, I know they've got obviously some quarterback trouble and that's not going to help their offense at all. And no, I mean, look, when you match up even a great defense against the number 1 offense, it's still going to be, leaning in our direction. I don't know. I mean, I think that we've had a couple games where like big surprises have happened. Jacksonville comes to mind, and a few others. But that was so early on in the season that the momentum is. I just feel like it's unparalleled. It really is feeling good, and all I have to go off is a feeling. But I'm feeling good about it. So.
Excuse me. Yeah, that's the same thing with me because I seen that you were on different podcasts. You did She Said TV, you did or shows and podcasts, and I was like, this is the one. Like, I'll say stuff like I have nothing to back it up. I have no stats. I don't watch film.
Yeah, why do that? It's just easier to trash talk it.
Yeah, it is, and then I just find people who know a lot about football. And I bring them on to say the smart stuff.
And then you just agree with them. You be their cheerleader. And then borrow what they say, and say that for the next one.
And that's exactly what I do. Like even knowing that they're 22nd ranked, the Rams are offense. That's because of Twitter. I just I don't research.
Yeah, no, you could just be pulling a bunch of fake news there too.
Yeah,
like,
people ask me like on Facebook. Sometimes I'll post about it because I argue with people and I'll be like, oh, the Packers have this ranked defense and this and that, and they'll be like, how do you know? I was like, I saw it on Twitter. I don't know.
Yeah,
it's gotta be true.
Wikipedia. Yeah.
Yeah, he was verified. So I was looking. There was a comment here, but it's gone. But someone asked, what's your score prediction for this game?
Oh, I love this. Okay, so I just want to real quick brag that I got the score right in Super Bowl 31, 21-35. Told my uncle Dennis, and it was right. Okay, and that was back in '96, and I'm still.
Can he confirm this?
96. Yeah, he can. He absolutely can. Yeah, no. Yeah, also, though, he was the same guy when I was in Vegas. I called him. I said, "Do you want me to put money on for you as well?" And so I put $50 on for him. He called me when they won the Super Bowl. He was so pissed I lost the ticket. But, no, the score for today. So I think I'm going to go 35-14 Packers.
35-14. I like that. I like this comment here. Wayne Dakota Shane order against him. So how was that though? Like
Wayne did. Yeah. Wayne doesn't want to see me again in his booth.
That is hilarious. That video was great. Do you think that you could do that job?
No, not at all. Just spending a little bit of time with Wayne, and we had the play up on the screen as we were calling it, and just seeing what he was doing, and also I studied a bunch of plays before, like leading up to it, just to see how I could like vibe with him the most. And man, I just have so much respect for those guys because the amount of knowledge that they need to know, it's almost like second nature, doing it in that way and sort of getting that balance of play-by-play and color commentary. I mean, it's a tough thing. So there was a lot of editing in that video to make it look passable. Let's just say that. Not because of Wayne, because of me. I was screwing up every play.
Yeah, I could never do that job because the memory part. Like, I can't remember stuff. Like, even like stats, I could have a podcast like on Monday, say something. By Wednesday, I'll try to say I don't remember what that was. Like, I don't like and the games too, because like I have a football podcast, but I get drunk during the game. So I forget the game.
Affect your memory. Yeah, biologically speaking, that's not going to help.
No, it's not. every time I do a pod, like I have to like look what was the score so I can put it on the screen because I know they won. I know I had a good time.
right. That's all that matters at the end of the day. This isn't rocket science. You're not curing cancer. You're talking about football.
Yeah, exactly. Especially this show. No one's tuning into my show and thinking I'm going to learn some stuff today. We're going to get stone cold facts.
They know what they're getting. Oh, Luke says 27-13 pack. Okay. I like that too.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are scared to say over 30 because of that defense, but I think the Packers defense could actually score some points. I think, I don't know, I was saying this week, I think the Packers defense is going to get mad because everyone's talking about the Rams defense. So I could just see them showing up, and I'll be wearing my Preston Smith jersey. He's my guy. I was excited for him that his name was in that little Wayne song. He was all pumped up. I even messaged him. I was a little buzzed up last night. That's what I do though when I get drinking, and I think to myself, I should message Packer players on Instagram.
You just get into all their DMs.
Yeah, because a lot of them follow me, so they see it, and a lot of them just like I tell them like every Monday I'm like, sorry about that. I was a little excited, but
the apology tour, the Monday morning apology tour on Instagram.
Yeah, you've got a few. I'm just drunk and I think a thought. Yeah. Charlie should hear this. He should.
I have. Now I forgot about that. Yeah. Now that I think back to it, and then you did apologize after the fact too.
It's what I do. Some of them they're not horrible, but it just you're drunk. Just put the phone away. You don't need to say hi.
You gotta have rules.
Yeah, if you get a message from me on a Friday night.
Yeah,
just swipe left and delete. But all right. So ask a few more questions. I got some notes over here. All right, because I'm a professional.
Oh, cool.
I'm a professional.
That. No, I can tell you're very professional.
So, like growing up, because I was thinking about this earlier. You're younger than me by probably quite a bit. Who is your guy? Like growing up, I would assume I know the answer, but like who is that player that like you?
Well, it was always Reggie White and Gilbert Brown. I like those guys a lot. Those were the jerseys I had. Reggie White was on my Packers locker, and my go-to jersey was either Reggie White initially and then Gilbert Brown. So Those were the ones that I had.
Yeah, I was thinking that it would have to be like Brett Favre, Reggie White. Gilbert Brown's a good one.
In the mix too. Yeah, that whole era. That's when I was, that's when you're finding the players to be on the playground the next day when you're playing football recess.
And those times were just funny because I worked at a car wash when I was young. Yeah, right by Lambeau Field, PDQ car wash. Here's a little plug for
nice. You park cars there for tailgating?
All the players would come in on Tuesday because that was like the day off, and then I think they got paid because there's always a little envelope. So I assumed they got paid that day because it was like a little Packer envelope with no check, obviously. But like Gilbert Brown would come in there, Amont Green. Like I met like Brett Favre's wife was in there. He never was. Brett Favre. I don't think he could just walk around town. He'd probably get.
That's a tough thing.
It'd be like Justin Bieber, type thing.
Right. Yeah, you probably had to stay in for the most part.
But Gilbert Brown was one of the coolest guys because they had a rule no asking for autographs of players, like the bosses. They don't want players not want to come there because they're getting hounded. But Gilbert Brown was like, no, I'll park my truck over there. I'll come back and I'll sign anything you want. He would talk to everyone.
That's awesome.
And the cool.
He seems like such a good dude, and he's around town right now, isn't he? Or I forget where he lives, but people tell me they see him around or something.
Yeah, I think he has a little show or podcast he does. I see into it. I'm not sure for sure because I asked a lot of those guys to come on my show, and they all say no. Like they say, I do my own thing, and that's cool. So, but yeah, so we're getting some Antonio Freeman and Reggie White.
Antonio Freeman too, yeah. I was a wide receiver, third string, not to brag. Actually, second string. But Antonio Freeman was my also. I mean, you can, and Robert Brooks. I have a Robert Brooks autograph actually. So,
oh yeah.
Yeah, not to brag or anything.
I
do have a Robert Brooks autograph.
Yeah, he's. I remember that song "Jump in the Stands." We used to rock that thing.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
As my kids would say, that was a banger. So, I asked some questions. We have a few more minutes, and I'll let you get back to your life. So who's one guy that you think will have a breakout game for this game? Because I saw someone in the comment talking about AJ Dillon, who's I think. But who's that one guy that you'd like to just see breakout?
I mean, breakout is in the I don't know. I always like it. It's cool seeing obviously Rodgers and Devontae Adams like find their thing. That sort of reminds me of like I guess sort of the Brett Favre and Antonio Freeman thing, but I always get excited when there's a long ball thrown. I'm getting the same level of excitement from when Brett Favre used to throw those long balls, when it's a Rodgers, Devontae Adams kind of thing. I don't know if I'm really explaining that right, but there's a certain feeling you get when it's a drop back to pass. I don't know. I don't know. I'm sure there's a better answer for this, but I'll just stick with that right now.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are saying MVS. I like that because I'm rooting for that guy because he's had some struggles, but he's also like a great player. So I hate that all the negativity that he gets. So I always pump him up. But yeah, I can see MVS. I think it'll be someone that people aren't expecting is going to bust. Tunyon had a great year. I love that.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, that's actually a good pick too. I mean, and it's I don't know. Yeah. I'm not really making sense on this, but it's have you had some brandy today, Charlie? Possibly. Actually, I'm helping my sister paint, so I'm indulging a little bit because you can't paint just without brandy. No. on Packers game day, no.
Yeah, see, this is a rare time that I'm sober. So if I'm not really good, everyone, it's because I haven't drank anything. I drank a lot last night, got a little rough, and then I had to go over the Quick Trip this morning, refuel. Dude, I'm a professional. You get some Glaciers, you get some chocolate milk, coat the stomach, and then finish it off with some Gatorade.
It's going to give you a ton of energy for about 4 minutes. No, I didn't drink a lot. I just had one. Oh, somebody in the comments asked about the old fashions. And I'll just say they said brandy or whiskey. and I go brandy, and then I go sour. So I saw the comments. I just wanted to make sure that was.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that. So that's your drink of choice. Like, are you a beer guy? I see some of your videos. You got the Miller Lite.
Yeah, mostly. I mean, mostly beer, but I'll start off. If someone's making old fashions, I'm getting on that train. You know?
Yeah, definitely.
Or if I have to make it, but
Yeah, that's the thing about making drinks is you got to make them. Like,
I know.
A beer, you just crack and you're good. You're going.
I know. But sometimes I like the process of muddling and doing all that sort of stuff, but.
Yeah. All right. I'll let you go because I know that you got some stuff to do today. I appreciate you taking the time. And big Packers win here.
Yeah. 35. What did I say? I forgot my prediction.
I think 35-14.
Yeah. Okay. Can't wait.
If it's if you nail it, I will put this video out there and I'll tell everyone how smart Charlie Berens is at football. Way better than me.
Man, thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me on. And everyone, stay tuned. I'm going to end this thing. And after the game, I'll be probably drunk and I'll do a post-game show. Charlie won't be here. He'll be celebrating in his own way.
I'll watch the preview or the post on social media afterwards. Yeah, I'll check my DMs too.
It's always a train wreck. I wake up and that's what I do every day after I drink. I wake up and look at my phone, look at all the, like, oh, no. Yeah. Anyway, thanks for coming on. Go Pack, go. Big win coming, 35-14. I'll go with his prediction. I like it. Thanks for everyone for tuning in. Go Pack, go.